Have you ever tried to help someone and you got hurt in the process? You were just trying to help them. You were being very, very generous with your time, your talents, your abilities. You knew what they were going through and you wanted to help them so much. And at the end, it felt like it maybe just blew all up on you, or maybe they talked bad about you afterwards, or maybe they didn't appreciate, or maybe you felt at the end that you were taken advantage of. This is what I refer to as the dark side of helping. And there are three mistakes that I think that we as compassionate people, as maybe empaths, as introverts or sensitive people or people who desire to help, people who feel called to help others, people who feel like they're called to be a leader. Three mistakes that we make that leave us vulnerable to being hurt ourselves when we're helping other people. So kind of think of it this way. Imagine that somebody says, "Hey, can you come over and help me?" And they call me up and they say, "Hey, can you come over and help me?" And I don't ask, "Hey, how do you need help?" I just show up and they said, "What I really need your help with is moving my piano." And I look at their piano and I am like, "Oh, I understand their pain. The piano's in the wrong place. I myself play the piano, and playing the piano is so important. It brightens my day. I enjoy it so much." And then I try to help them move their piano, not taking into account that I don't have the strength to help them move their piano. I am not qualified to help them move their piano. They need professional piano movers to help them move their piano. So let's say that I ignore the fact that, I can't lift hundreds of pounds and I don't know how to lift very well and protect my back. And I had just bought into, "You've got a piano that needs to be moved. Let me help you move it for sure." Well, then I could get in there and I could try to lift it and maybe I scratch it. Maybe I drop it. Maybe I damage it. And they're going to be rightly frustrated. And that frustration came because I was trying to help somebody in a way that I was not completely prepared to give help. And they were asking for help. And so that is what's going on an emotional level when we're trying to help. I remember talking to my mom. My mother had 9 children, and I am the oldest. So, number one, as the oldest child, I felt over responsible for taking care of everybody and everything. It's an oldest daughter thing, apparently. I've had to do a lot of work around this area. And I'm going to share with you what I did to help me be able to help others with serious things without getting hurt myself. But the story that I was going to tell was that as the mother of 9 kids, she would get asked often, "How do you do it? What did you do?" And she finally said to me, she goes, "I am so tired of people asking for my advice and then never taking it." And I'm like, "Well, then stop sharing it." But if it's frustrating to you to be asked for your advice and your wisdom, stop giving it away for free. That's the problem. In fact, that's speaking to one of my steps. So let's go into the 3 mistakes that are happening that will open the door for you to be hurt when your desire is simply to help another person, help another human. Mistake number 1, over identifying with their pain. So some of our most brilliant ability to help other people is because we have healed from pain in our own past. And if we are not completely fully healed, then sometimes when we're in that process still of healing, we can over-identify with the pain. So we're in the process of overcoming the pain. And on the other side of this, we are going to be amazing healers, amazing helpers, amazing coaches, amazing inspiration to other people who are going through the same thing. But if the experience is still a little raw, it's still a little early to be offering the help. I think about that parable in the Bible where it talks about love your neighbor as yourself, and it's the parable of the Good Samaritan. And the person who helped the Good Samaritan out of the ditch was not another person that was lying in the ditch. It was not another person who was barely capable of taking care of himself. No, by all accounts, this person had means at his disposal. He had strength. He had time. He had the bandwidth. He had the energy. And so he had the great capacity to see somebody else's pain with empathy and offer help that would not hurt him. It may have inconvenienced him, but it did not hurt him. Which brings me to number two. Mistake number two that we make is we over invest in the solution. We over invest in them getting better because we know how great it is. Like, oh my goodness, I am so glad that I got over this. I am so glad that I learned the secret to stop binge eating, or I'm so glad that I learned the secret to stop over fighting with my husband, or I am so glad I learned the secret to getting out of debt. I feel a desire to help anybody else who's struggling with this. And you talk about it in your excitement, and somebody else gets excited about it and they want it, but they don't want to do the work. And you want the result for them more than they're ready to want it for themselves. And so then you start doing the heavy lifting for them. Like, well, let me help you with this. Well, then let me help you with this. Well, let me help you with this. You know, for example, maybe you help people get out of debt and you're like, well, I feel bad about charging for my help. You know, let me help them with that. Well, you can only help one or two people before you're going to run out of bandwidth and money to do what's necessary to have a business that helps other people get out of debt. That is you committing to the result, investing in their result more than they are invested in. This is a big one. This is where a lot of people have trouble charging for their services. They feel like if it could help somebody, I should give it for free. And I kind of want to say that, number one, the solution to all of our problems are probably already out there for free. Thank goodness to the internet and YouTube. You're not just helping them find a solution, you're helping them save time. You're helping them save effort. And you have invested so much of your time, so much of your energy, so much of your life's blood to coming up with solutions that can help other people. It is not selfish, and it is not an unreasonable expectation to ask for and receive payment for that. It's a trade. You know, money is sometimes the cleanest form of trade that we can do. Which brings me to mistake number three, and that is that sometimes we over expect gratitude from the person that we're trying to help. When our motivation for helping somebody else should not be to receive gratitude. This is such a subtle mistake, but you'll know you're making it when you feel a little bit bitter and a little bit resentful of all the effort that you have given to someone else. That is when you can be like, oh, maybe I'm over expecting gratitude, which is why, again, I think that sometimes just simply exchanging money for help is a much cleaner exchange. You know, it cleans up the relationship. You know, I'm selling something, you're buying something. These are the ways that I'm showing up and helping you. This is the work that you will need to do and you can expect to do to get this result. But some of us have been raised in really, really long traditions of thinking that we are called to sacrifice. And I think that we're called to be generous. We're called to be patient. We are called to share our time and our talents with others, or maybe exchange our time and our talents with others, use our time and our talents to bless others. But I think that there is a beautiful exchange in that. But sometimes we think that we should be sacrificing to save others. You guys, I struggled with this so much. My coach said, I am not called to rescue other people. That's Jesus' job. Jesus came to pay the ultimate sacrifice. It is not my job to be their savior. It is not my job to rescue them. And I was like, oh, I need you to coach me because that was not how I thought about it. I felt so compelled. I felt so pressured. I felt so guilty for having it better than other people, easier than other people. If I am better in this area than others, then I should help them. I should give away all my help for free. And I knew from the way he said that it's like, oh, this is why I'm sitting on the cusp of burnout, about to quit it all. I wrote a post recently called The Leader's Pity Party, calling out this thing of how we as leaders can get so burnt out serving the people that we've been called to serve. But it's because we're over-identifying with their pain. We have not completely healed something there, and it's hurting us that they're hurting. I think about the surgeon. Imagine that the surgeon is getting ready to do surgery on somebody, and they're like, I want to help do surgery on your stomach because my stomach hurts too. And it's like, no, I don't want that surgeon to help me because he's in pain a little bit from my pain. We do not need that. I would like to go to the surgeon who says, I went through the same thing and I had this surgery and all my pain went away. And then I determined to go to medical school and learn how to do that surgery so I could help other people with the same pain. You do not want to be trying to help other people in their pain when you're still in the pain, over identifying with their pain. What is it in your past that might be causing you to over-invest in their results more than them? We make this mistake when we do not see the other person as a whole person, as a person that is just as capable as we are in implementing the solution that will solve their problem. And it's an overabundance of compassion, maybe an overabundance of sympathy, but it can slide into, and this will probably help you because this is what helped me. It can slide into a little bit of arrogance. Like at the end of the day, we're kind of saying, oh, excuse me, my light. At the end of the day, we're kind of saying, I am better than you at implementing this. I see myself as a more capable person than you. So therefore, I am going to take on the responsibility of fixing your life, of stewarding your life more than you have. That is not helpful. That is harmful. So we cannot disempower people with our help. And then mistake number 3, over expecting payment, thanks, or gratitude. Instead of just making it about, hey, cleanly, I can help people. I am the surgeon who knows how to do abdominal surgery that will solve your pain. I charge whatever amount they might charge, $10,000 for this surgery, but you'll be pain-free for the rest of your life. And just letting it be like that and letting them decide, is that valuable to them? But how would you like a surgeon that says, I charge you, or I'm not going to charge you, but I do expect you to be grateful to me for all the time and effort that I gave to you and to your attention? We don't realize that when we're hesitant to accept monetary payment for our help, for our offering, then sometimes we're needing them to pay us in other ways, like gratitude, like telling us our offer was amazing, like telling us that we helped them so much. We're hoping to that they can feed into our self-esteem. And we just want to clean that up. So the dark side of helping is making these 3 mistakes. And to avoid making these mistakes, make sure that you see the person that you're offering help to as a whole and capable person, and that you are a whole person as you're offering the help. Make sure that you've already cleaned up and you've set healthy boundaries. Like, this is what I can help you with, but this is what I'm not available to do. Make sure that you do not feel responsible for making somebody else's life better, because that's their responsibility. It is not your job to be the savior to other people. There is already a savior in the world. He paid the ultimate price, and we don't have to. And that's not what our mission is called to do. We are called to shine our light in different ways. We are not called to be somebody's savior. We are called to shine our brilliance, shine our gifts, share our talents with other people in ways that blesses them and benefits us. If we don't learn the truth of this, then we are in danger of burning out and not being able to help anybody at all. We are in danger of getting hurt and then having bitterness take root in our life. I think of this is so common in ministry. And I think it's because the way that we have been taught to set up ministry is a little bit of a broken model. And maybe we need to re-examine it. But if you feel like you are being forced to help people and it's taking more from you, this is why really the best thing we can do is get in touch with our motivation. I don't coach people on clarity and on their relationships and on healing from past hurts so that I can feel better about myself. I do those things because I feel like that's truly my calling. That's truly the way that I was created to be, and that's how I want to show up. And it's a way of using my talents to bless others and benefit my family. So that is why I exchange help for dollars. And if it's not a great exchange to somebody, they'll say no. And if it's a great exchange, they'll say yes. And we keep it very clean and very mutually beneficial. If we don't figure out how to help others without burnout, then we don't get to help others for very long. And remember, the God who created this world and the God who created you and the God who planted an aspect of his brilliance, he created you in his image. You are uniquely an image of him in some way. He's also a God of abundance. He did not mean for us to burn out while we're blessing others. So keep that in mind. The dark side of helping. Make sure you avoid these 3 mistakes by getting grounded in your motivation, by being completely healed, and by not under expecting from other people and over expecting from yourself. Over taking too much responsibility over somebody else's life. Responsible means the ability to respond. So keep that in mind as you are offering your beautiful help to hurting people. Hope this helped. Bye-bye.